Hello, this is Meghnad and you're watching Sansad Watch, where we tell you what the leaders you elected are doing for you. Here are the highlights for the last week of our Parliament's monsoon session for the year 2021. The monsoon session is over. Both houses have been adjourned 2 days before the scheduled date. On the last day, which is Wednesday, Leader of Opposition in Rajya Sabha Mallikarjun Kharge alleged that the marshals manhandled women MPs in Parliament. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar said that in his entire parliamentary career, he has never seen the way the women MPs were attacked in the upper house. He alleged that more than 40 men and women were brought into the house from the outside. On Tuesday, MPs turned up wearing black saris and armbands to protest the suppression of their voice. Rajya Sabha Chairman Venkaiah Naidu broke down while criticizing the conduct of some opposition MPs during the statement he was making on incidents that unfolded on Tuesday. Naidu said that he had a sleepless night. The 127th Constitution Amendment Bill, which allows states to categorize the OBCs as per their own requirements, was passed in both houses of Parliament. This is the only bill that saw a full-fledged debate during the entire monsoon session. The Standing Committee on Home Affairs, headed by Congress leader Anand Sharma, expressed disappointment over the continuous diversion of the Nirbhaya Fund towards other schemes and projects. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana has broken his silence and criticized the way Parliament has been functioning lately. He said there is no proper debate in the House and the entire situation is a sorry state of affairs. And finally, 6 bills were passed by Lok Sabha and 7 by Rajya Sabha, some of which I'm going to tell you about today. So let's get right into the deets. It was the last week of monsoon session of Parliament. The session was supposed to run till Friday, but both houses were adjourned sine die on Wednesday itself. Sine die is a technical term which means adjourned without really giving a commencement date for the next session. The last 2 days saw some major insanity. On Tuesday, the opposition claimed that the government is being sneaky by pushing through a diluted debate on the farmer issue. In the afternoon, when the speaker tried to initiate a discussion titled The Agricultural Problems and Solutions, Jairam Ramesh got up and said that the notice he had filed was completely different, that it was about the repeal of the 3 farm laws. After that, the House was adjourned. Congress MP Pratap Singh Bajwa climbed onto the table and threw a file at the empty seat of the chairman. Then, a few more members climbed the table waving black flags. The marshals were brought in and they created a human cordon around the speaker's chair. The House was then adjourned for the day. The next day, on Wednesday, the government brought in the 127th Amendment to the Constitution, the OBC bill, into Rajya Sabha. I'll tell you more about this bill in a bit. Now, when this bill was brought in, things were calm. Both Treasury and opposition MPs participated in the debate, discussed the issues, and then voted on the amendment with 187 votes in favor and 0 against in Rajya Sabha. But after that was done and dusted, utter chaos happened. Piyush Goyal wanted to take up the General Insurance Bill, but opposition members wanted it to be taken up the next day. Ignoring that, Nirmala Sitharaman moved the bill for consideration and passing while MPs started storming the well. Again, the well is that beach ka area. The bill got passed in chaos without discussion. Within minutes, marshals, more than 10 women and 50 men, made a human chain all around the table in front of the speaker. ANI put out this video. Watch. RJD MP Manoj Jha said that the entire nation is watching the murder of democracy here.
पूरा देश देख रहा है कि इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर के बहाने आप जो कत्ल की योजना बना रहे हैं, ऐसे नहीं पास होता है। किसके दबाव में आपने करार किया हुआ है? लोकतंत्र को लहूलुहान कर रहे हैं। ये तरीका है। मैं समझता हूं कि आपको भी सोचना चाहिए कि आप क्यों बैठे हुए हैं।
The House was adjourned for half an hour, but wait, it's not over yet. Because the House resumed and another bill was brought in. Yes, the National Commission for Homeopathy Amendment Bill was swiftly passed. After the House was adjourned sine die, MPs came out and accused the government of using gender shields to foil MP protests, which means male marshals for women MPs, female marshals posted in front of male MPs. Priyanka Chaturvedi accused the marshals of manhandling her. Many other MPs made similar claims. Elamaram Karim, a CPIM MP, described it in one sentence: "There was a war-like situation inside the house today." Yeah. And you know what? During this entire time when this was going down, the cameras did not show the protests and these activities in parliament. So the descriptions of what happened came from the reporters that were present in the press gallery inside the house. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you kill parliament and get away with murder. I keep telling you how the parliament is a place to debate and discuss bills, pass better laws after proper scrutiny, all for you. In the entire monsoon session, proper debate happened only for one bill. That's right, the last one. So, let's talk about the one law that was debated, discussed and passed properly. The 127th Constitution Amendment Bill. It was passed in Lok Sabha on August 10th after a historic debate that lasted for, wait for it, 6 hours. Oh my god. In Rajya Sabha, it was passed after a 5-hour debate. Wow. A total of 11 hours of debate. Yeah. And that is what normal parliament looks like. Seriously. 11 hours is really normal. This constitutional amendment bill, which we shall call the OBC bill, seeks to allow states and union territories to prepare their own list of socially and educationally backward classes, or SEBCs. There's a bit of a backstory to this one. You see, earlier, every state had the power to make their own list of OBCs. Meaning, if they had identified and added a particular caste to the OBC list, they would get the benefits of reservations. States did it all the time. But then, in 2018, the Modi government brought in a law which took this power away. The 102nd Constitutional Amendment gave the powers to make changes to the OBC list to the President and maintain a central list. This created a lot of confusion because the states were then left wondering if the central list would override their own list, or can both exist together? What is even going on? Around the same time in Maharashtra, the Devendra Fadnavis government had passed a law proposing 16% reservation in education and government jobs for Marathas. This was challenged in the Supreme Court in 2019, that is after the 2018 bill, and struck down. The court said that after the 102nd Amendment, it has become clear that the states cannot make their own lists. Yeah. Turns out nearly 671 OBC communities lost access to reservations in educational institutions and for jobs since the state list was abolished. Moreover, nearly 1/5 of total OBC communities were adversely impacted by this. That upset a lot of people, as you can imagine. The central government was like, whoops, I've made a huge mistake, and went on to correct that mistake by bringing in this law last week. You see, having the power to put certain castes into the OBC list is a very powerful superpower. Right before elections come, political parties scramble to include blocks of voters into the list for appeasement purposes, obviously, votes. All parties start promising inclusion of more castes in the state list, like Marathas, which I mentioned earlier. When the central government took away that power in 2018, our lovely politicians lost this mega superpower. And that was quite upsetting for all parties, regional and national. So to fix this mistake, the OBC bill was brought in and cleared by both houses efficiently. All parties benefit from this politically, so they quietly and nicely discussed the whole thing and passed it unanimously in both houses, because elections are coming. After this was passed, as if on cue, the Uttar Pradesh Backward Classes Commission came up with a list of 39 castes to be included in the state OBC list. Currently, there are 79 castes in the state list already. Demands for inclusion in the OBC list have already started in Karnataka, same in Haryana, same in Odisha. And I'm pretty sure by the time this episode airs, there would be more developments coming in from everywhere. Just keep a watch. In all of this, did you notice how when it comes to bills that help parties in elections and getting votes, appeasing certain sections, the parliament just magically starts functioning properly? 11 hours! Think about that for a little bit. Now, with that out of the way, let's see what questions were answered by the government last week. MP Kumar Ketkar asked whether it is necessary and compulsory to print photographs of Prime Minister on the certificate of COVID-19 vaccines, and if any government in the past has done the same for other vaccines. The government responded saying, given the context of the pandemic, its evolving nature, and the fact that following of COVID-appropriate behaviors has emerged as one of the most critical measures for preventing the spread of the disease, the photograph along with the message of the Honorable Prime Minister in the vaccination certificates reinforces the message for creating awareness about the importance of following COVID-19 appropriate behavior even after vaccination in larger public interest. Really? Really? He's the one who is creating awareness about COVID appropriate behavior? Really?
मैं जहां देख सकता हूं मुझे लोग ही लोग दिखते हैं, बाकी कुछ दिखता ही नहीं है.
मतलब कुछ भी आंसर दे दो. Wait for a few months and we'll see more such COVID appropriate behavior from our politicians, including him. Don't you worry. Elections are coming. Next up, MP Vishambar Prasad Nishad asked whether the government will take any steps to collect caste-based data and if they will specifically do a census of OBCs. The government's response to this was no sir and no sir. Well, that settles it, I guess. It's a no. Moving on to bills of the week. 6 bills were passed by Lok Sabha and 7 by Rajya Sabha, and this includes the 127th Constitution Amendment or OBC bill, which I spoke about earlier. The other important bill that was passed on the very last day is the General Insurance Business Nationalization Amendment Bill 2021. Let me give you the backstory. You see, the original General Insurance Business Nationalization Act came into effect in 1972. The act was brought in to nationalize all private companies undertaking general insurance business in India. Meaning, the government wanted complete control over the process of giving insurance to citizens, so it formed the General Insurance Corporation, GIC. So there were 4 companies which were nationalized under the act, and they were subsidiaries of the GIC. The National Insurance, New India Assurance, Oriental Insurance, and United India Insurance. In 2002, these 4 companies were then handed over to the central government and became independent entities on their own. Right, so last week's law essentially reverses what happened in 1972. It removes the provision which requires the government to have majority control, which is over 51% for these 4 companies. Now they can be privatized and the government can slowly give up their stake, giving up control to someone else, which is a private entity. When I say control, it basically means 2 things. The power to appoint a majority of the directors of a specified insurer, and number 2, have powers over its management or policy decisions. You see, after the pandemic hit India, one thing became clear: the government needs monies. So, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman took this opportunity to announce that the government is going to give up control and divest to the tune of 1.75 trillion rupees. She announced in the budget speech that the government aims to privatize 2 public sector banks and 1 general insurance company. This is why the bill was passed. Now my guess is that one of these companies will be sold off soon, or maybe more, who knows. It's difficult to say what effect this would have on you and me, to be honest. You know why we don't know? Because it wasn't discussed in the House. Both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the bill was casually rammed through within minutes. The opposition MPs were asking the government to send this bill to a select committee for further scrutiny, and then a report will be prepared and the bill will be reviewed. But the government was like, what scrutiny? Where scrutiny? Where? What? Why do you need to know more? Bulldoze this thing. Chalo, bulldoze away. Minutes. Dal do. Ghusa do. So, yeah. Now it's up to you and me to figure out what effect this bill would have, because the government is not going to tell us. I'm leaving a brief for you to go through in the description below, and I shall do a more detailed episode on this later. Wah wah wee wah. Shenkui. And now for a blast from the past. It's India's 75th year of independence, so it's only fitting that I tell you about the speech by Jawaharlal Nehru. You must have heard the first 2 or 3 lines often.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
But have you heard about the last few lines? No? Let me read out 2 very relevant paragraphs from the Tryst with Destiny speech given on the midnight of 14th August 1947 by Jawaharlal Nehru. The future beckons to us. Whither do we go, and what shall be our endeavor? To bring freedom and opportunity to the common man, to the peasants and workers of India, to fight and end poverty and ignorance and disease, to build up a prosperous, democratic and progressive nation, and to create social, economic and political institutions which will ensure justice and fullness of life to every man and woman. We have hard work ahead. There is no resting for any one of us till we redeem our pledge in full, till we make all the people of India what destiny intended them to be. We are citizens of a great country on the verge of bold advance, and we have to live up to that high standard. All of us, to whatever religion we may belong, are equally the children of India with equal rights, privileges and obligations. We cannot encourage communalism or narrow-mindedness, for no nation can be great whose people are narrow in thought or in action. Goosebumps, literal goosebumps. And a very happy Independence Day to you too. That's all I have for you today in this week's episode of Sansad Watch. Remember, if we want to make Parliament great again, we need to watch it first. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Sansad Watch, guys. If you like this, please like it and then comment below so that the algorithm basically promotes this show more and more people watch what is going on in Parliament. Yeah. So the plan is that Parliament session is over, but there were a lot of bills that were passed, 20 of them, which essentially I had to hurry through for the last 4 episodes. Some of them I did give you details of, so you can go back to the first episode and watch them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you more episodes of Sansad Watch where I will go deep into these bills, how they impact you, what are the sort of reports that came before it, why were they brought in. There's a lot to uncover in literally each of these bills that were passed. So I will come up with more episodes of Sansad Watch real soon. So please keep a watch on that and I will see you next time. And go to newslaundry.com/subscription and subscribe to News Laundry. Did you see that how much happened in Parliament last week, but how few media houses were able to cover it, right? If you don't have shows like these, we will literally never know what is happening in Parliament. So therefore, if you want more meaningful shows like this one, if you want me to go into more details of bills and tell you how laws affect you, please subscribe to News Laundry because that is the only way we can do it. Thank you so much.
We, being an independent platform, depend on our readers, viewers and listeners. Support independent media by subscribing to News Laundry. Go to newslaundry.com, click on the subscribe button at the top and pay to keep news free.